Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Stephen. But we can't talk about that on the show.
Now we can all get some sleep.
Now, he might be listening. I don't want to,
Wow, people are thinking, what are they talking about? Oh, my God.
Well, they'll never know.
Oh, boy.
That'll only happen when our media careers are entirely over and we just launch the loosest. We'll have the loosest 70-year-old podcast. Us two in our 70s.
Yeah.
Just
We'll
ranting.
just unload. Just say, right.
Could you imagine?
This will be, you know how like they series have the finale, right? You say, right, we know it's the end of the line.
Yeah.
Last episode.
Kill off people, all that stuff.
Just go, boom.
Yeah.
Just unload everything.
Yeah. I hope I've still got my marbles. Like, I know I can't remember what movie we did last week, but, I've got a memory for some stuff that's gone down. And
Last week was Copland, by the way.
Yeah.
This week is
Wedding Crashes.
Wedding Crashes.
But I just hope I remember some of the stuff that we experienced so that we can...
I'll remember it for you, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, like we could do 2 hours on the Sphere 2024. CES.
Oh, yeah. What is he talking about? Oh. If you want to email me, I can tell you what he's talking about.
I'll show you the video. You won't know what's happening, but you'll get a sense.
There's a few other incidents we could talk about in the past. A few other terse, little tense.
It's funny though, because it's like,
meetings.
what would it take to do that? Because in part, it's not really sacrificing anything.
It's like a parting gift. Like, that's it. We're out. It's sort of like, done and dusted. Here it is. So it'd be like literally like having the series finale. So right, we're gonna tie all the loose ends up. We're gonna tell you everything you wondered.
If you stick with us for long enough, you are in for a magical ride.
A few years to go yet. 670 episodes in, and then some, and change.
When's 30 weeks from now? Is that in this year? Are we going to hit 700 in this year?
Maybe. Well, what are we up to now? Week 8, 9?
Hang on. So
week 7?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
700
1,
shows.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
September 11.
Well, actually, it does.
It's
You're right.
iPhone launch week.
It's iPhone launch week.
Wow.
Likely iPhone launch week will be our 700. Which is, we've often
had
done
an anniversary.
650th or 600th there.
600th was there, yeah. 2 years ago. Yeah, wow. Oh, well, should we let Apple know that then? Oh.
That's fascinating.
Make sure we both get invited, or
not get involved. I don't ask questions. Just make do with what we can. But yeah, so because we're going to hit 700 this year.
Yep.
How old are we? Also, hang on. It's like next week or the week after is our anniversary.
Yeah.
Honey, did you get me flowers?
It's next week. Yeah, so 671. So what week is it this week? No, it's the following week. So week after, hang on, this is going to end.
Well, yeah, it's in between, isn't it? Like the 22nd, 23rd?
Yeah.
So it's a weekend between next week's and the week after.
So it'll have to be the following week. We'll do it. Celebrate it.
Celebrate.
Officially.
What do we celebrate?
I don't know.
So it's 14 years.
14 years since episode 1.
Wow. I do feel old.
I
know I look it too.
It's been 14 years. Should we put it side by side when we first started and now?
No.
How do you reckon we look? When did we do that last? I think we shared a side by side for the 600th. I think it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
but 14
wasn't
years.
Too bad.
Find me another podcast that's been going 14 years.
I
folks.
reckon. Do we ring Guinness? Like, is this a record?
No, it's not because
how many? Like, who's
there's
been
a
going
few.
longer?
Like your mum's house. Tom and Christina have been going longer. Pretty sure.
But longer as in time. But what about number of episodes?
Oh, a lot of them do multiple episodes a week, you see. Longest running podcast.
Would we get maybe longest running tech podcast?
Oh, well, this is interesting because under the definitely under the Wikipedia, there's the breakout on Google was useful, but now bloody oh wow, there's so much information here. History of podcasting. There was one that said it had been going for 12 years. And I'm like, 12? Give me a break.
Give it to me.
Hang on, I'm just going to scroll up. The first podcast, however, was IT Conversations by Doug Kay. The show ran from 2003 to 2012. Didn't make it. Sorry, buddy. With a successful 12 years and 2,700 episodes, the Jack and Sten Show is among the longest running monetized podcasts.
So shorter period, but more episodes.
Yeah, because they're pumping them out.
Yeah.
But
So
what's
what are you
the
saying?
oldest
What are you saying?
podcast still running?
We've been too lazy. One a week's not enough.
Lyndon Adam Curry's Daily Source Code, which is also among the first podcasts. So basically, we're nowhere near the top. But in Australia,
Yeah. Is there one? I don't think there is.
how
one,
long
is
is
there?
that Richard? What's that ABC one that obviously we fund? It's like Conversations with Richard Mercer, Feidler, Richard someone.
Yeah, that's been going a while.
But it hasn't been going for as long as us. Tell us, send us your feedback, folks. We need to know.
We also want to know who are the OG listeners too. If you've been listening
Improve
for
it.
all this time, yeah. If you've been an OG listener, because you've been hanging around for 14 years.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
Yeah,
yeah.
You're hanging around like a bad smell. Let's be honest. What's
Yeah.
going on there?
And we've said this before, but Trev's got a child younger than the podcast.
Yeah,
young Harry.
670 is a lot.
Coming up to 700 in September, you said that?
Yeah, there was a funny comment on, so theoretically, iPhone week, we'll just call it.
Yeah.
There was a funny comment on one of the on the YouTube link for this last week's show.
Yep.
It was something.
For Two Blokes Talking Tech show, yep.
Now, this was by R.I.P. Uzi. I don't know. Solid name, but a subscriber. I'm looking forward to your podcast quality after you have a bit more experience. Love them all now anyway. I'll pay that.
That's
well
smart.
paid. Well
That's
paid.
very good.
We really appreciate that. That's the
funny.
kind of humour I need to see.
That's funny.
When I log in to read comments. Also, not like the number of comments that have been left on iTunes and Spotify and stuff is pretty low.
Come on, guys.
What are you doing? I mean, how's anyone meant to
We'll
learn?
read them out if you send them. 5 stars. We'll read them out.
1 star? We'll send someone
1
around.
star, we're going to come and find you.
We've got a bloke called Lippo. He's going to come and find you. He will absolutely.
He's a good bloke.
Yeah, but he's got connections. I'm saying
yeah.
you should be very afraid.
Yeah, he knows everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Is that enough of that? Okay, good. Let's do this.
Welcome to Two Blokes Talking Tech
Not a bad price.
with Trevor Long from EFTM.com
Really handy device.
and Stephen Fennick from techguide.com.au.
Thanks to the. I've got to learn how to.
Clipped it again,
Well,
did
I've got to talk to Rode. I just, I don't want to leave the white screen on.
Yeah, of course. Road, if you're watching or listening or both.
Like, surely that's exactly what that button
I
is
think there was
for.
an up that, but you were on the beta.
I'm on
so
the
you've
latest
got
update,
all the
mate.
latest
I checked
software.
earlier today. Anyway,
Okay.
episode 670, thanks to the great people at Arlo and Netgear. Speaking of monetized podcasts, that's what we do here at the Two Blokes Talking
Yep.
Tech Network.
The Two Blokes Network. That's how it works.
Great to have your company, and we appreciate the support of Netgear and Arlo. And we hope that when you're buying
Support them.
home security products, you buy Arlo,
Yep.
and when you're buying networking products, you're looking at Netgear. At very least, make sure you compare them and give them consideration. That's all we ask.
Support the people who support us. You'll find that they're the best anyway. So
Yeah.
you'll
And
end up there.
We're very lucky that we don't have to change our views based on someone being an advertiser. We just think they're great products, and we just
Absolutely,
happen to have a great relationship with them, and they've been long-term supporters, so we're very grateful for that. I remember it must be 5 years ago, Stephen, that we sat in the Google offices because it was pre-COVID. Remember we were sitting in those rows
like
of
in
chairs
this
like
classroom.
it was a classroom.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a photo of us.
Yes.
Because we were being the naughty kids in the classroom too. Everyone else was being very serious. We're
Making
like, "Oh,
smart
whatever."
comments. Yeah.
One of the dudes who created Google Maps here in Sydney was back in town to spruik the 15-year anniversary of Google Maps. And here we are now, 5 years later.
20. Yeah.
20 years
That makes
of
sense.
Google
5
Maps.
years later, it's 20.
It kind of feels
After
like it was
15.
15 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Well,
Was it Lars, one of the Rasmussen brothers?
Yeah,
Was there,
I think it was
wasn't
Lars.
he? Yeah.
Let's go with that anyway.
Yeah.
20 years since Google Maps launched, and it's a fantastic product that was born in Australia broadly.
Born in Sydney.
And incubated here. Like it might have been an idea from globally, but it was incubated here in Australia through Google's Sydney office, and it's become just something phenomenal. I mean, think about this. It's at a point today where the White House will mention Google Maps because Donald Trump decided to rename something.
Gulf of America.
Yeah, I mean, just so you know, everywhere in the world, we call it Gulf of Mexico, in brackets Gulf of America, because you can't just decide to rename something. But out of respect, they've gone with a bracketed
Tell that
name.
to Trump.
And everyone in America, it says Gulf of America. If you're in America, you see something different to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
which is
So
fantastic.
if I looked at it right now,
You'll
it'd
see
still
Gulf
say
of
Gulf
Mexico, in brackets, Gulf of
brackets.
America.
Right. And it's same for Apple Maps too.
Apple Maps, I don't know that they've confirmed what they will do globally, but certainly in America,
Mate, the president has to say, president decides no more paper straws as well.
Yeah.
Plastic,
mate,
back to plastic.
big fan. I'm moving to America. Amanda texted me this morning and said, "Are we moving to America?"
Well, do you reckon
Mate,
that'll happen here too then?
With the greatest respect to our great mates at Ecovacs, we went to an event this morning, which we'll tell you about in a few weeks, and they generously, without me even asking, ordered a chocolate milkshake for me. It's a great way to start the day.
Yeah.
Had a paper straw.
Coffee for me.
I didn't want to be a pig and just suck it all down straight away, so I was taking my time with it. And that paper straw was very, very flaccid by the end of the drink. It was not good.
Yeah.
Apple Maps, by the way, in Australia says Gulf of Mexico.
Ah, right.
So outside of
So
America,
get that India. Yeah, right.
They couldn't care what you say, Donald.
Get that? Do you get that? Get that India.
Get that India.
Get
yeah.
that into Mexico.
Anyway, so it's 20 years on, and there's some fascinating stuff that have been released by Google on this. So let's have a look at some of the things. There's been 100 million. There are 100 million updates made to the map each day.
What?
100 million.
Oh, so there's people reporting things.
Yeah, or adding businesses, changing businesses. That means that the time it took to read this sentence, the map was updated 10,000 times. 250 million.
That's crazy.
There are 250 million businesses and places on the map.
Yep.
That's
a lot.
That's amazing.
But the part that was I wrote this last week on Tech Guide, but there was an embargoed the most visited spots we couldn't talk about till this week.
There are 500 million people who contribute to the reviews, photos, ratings, and driving disruptions to the map each year. So, and this is a good little stat, a vertical stack of 500 million pieces of paper would be 50 kilometres high.
Wow.
Now, are you someone that contributes?
I have occasionally, yeah.
Occasionally?
Just rated things.
Really?
Haven't written reviews. Are you active in there? Or?
I'm if I'm traveling, I'm active.
Yeah.
I always forget at home.
Yep.
But I'm pretty. So I'm a level 6 guide. I'm 230 points away. So basically,
near that.
10 reviews away from being level 7.
Wow.
Jimmy Smashburgers, 5 stars. Boom. So with something simple, I'll just go post a review. Right? I won't
write a Google review for some for Flipsy's little restaurant
Kitchen,
in Las Vegas. Flipsy's Kitchen.
I've added so many photos. I'm about to hit 8 million views on my photos.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't get paid for that, do you?
No, not at all.
Why don't you?
Nothing. Zero.
That'll incentivise it.
Yeah. So
but that's the whole idea of it. It's a community-driven thing.
My contributions, my contributions, both reviews and photos, 8.5 million views. So I think
it's very impressive.
I love it because, like we encourage people to read the reviews about things and places.
Because you learn and you know what's good and what's not.
Absolutely,
based on your experience.
So
that's the whole idea.
Have a look. Let's talk about the things that make the list as being exceptional.
Well, I know you're a big restaurant guy. The most reviewed restaurant was in Harris Park in New South Wales here in Sydney. Dosa Hut Indian Restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah.
14.4 thousand reviews.
An average rating of 4.61.
Wow.
So apparently it's a foodie destination. It's a real popular place for foodies.
That's amazing.
But also Sydney's Opera Bar.
Yep, down at the Opera House.
I wonder why. Got some good views there.
Yeah.
It does have it has a lot of good reviews. I think it's the 5th most reviewed restaurant in Australia, and no doubt the view has something to do with that.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think it's good for people to get involved and leave reviews because it helps people find stuff. I'm just scrolling back to see how the pub's getting 5-star reviews now. Mum's gone.
It is or not?
It is, yeah, it is.
Oh, wow.
They've lifted themselves to 4.2. They've done very well.
Oh, boy.
But see, the thing is, and I would say this to business owners, the thing I learnt from essentially running the reviews program on the pub that Mum used to own is reply. Always reply. So the last...
right. So you say what? Someone says, I had a great meal. What do you say? Thank you.
No.
Good
so
to see you.
Here's an example. The last one I did, because it was a year ago, and we've sold the pub since then. This lady says, a group of visitors for lunch. The meal was lovely. Told they had. The owner comes across as a bit gruff. However, she met all of our needs in a timely manner, etc., etc. So only 4 stars, right?
Yeah.
I replied, the pub replied, Catherine, you got the family treatment. A bit gruff, but great food. See you again soon. So I always embraced the personality that was Mum in the Pub.
Yeah.
And I think that's because if people are leaving a specific note about your place, then you want to address that in the reviews and your replies because people will see it.
Give your side of it as well. Yeah.
Because if people
Nice.
see a consistent mention of something particular, then if you're addressing it, then people will feel confident that you know about it and therefore you stand by it. So as an owner, that's what I would suggest.
That's awesome. How about this? The most reviewed cafe, Andonis Cafe and Bar in Yeerongpilly, Queensland. Is that Brisbane?
Yeerongpilly, I reckon.
Yeah.
In Queensland, yeah.
Yeah, near Brisbane.
8,000 reviews.
Yeah. 4.68 average rating.
Most reviewed fish and chip shop is Charis Seafoods in Labrador, Queensland.
Wow.
While the Cow on the Moon in Enmore is the most reviewed ice cream shop.
4.6.
Doing very well.
Wow. So what other categories are there? How about the most reviewed visitor attractions?
Okay.
And the top one is in Sydney.
Darling Harbour.
Darling Harbour, 58.3 thousand reviews.
That's a lot. Scenic
and I'd
World, as
say
in
now, there'll be a very old reviews because Darling Harbour's kind of a building site right now.
Yeah, but the whole of Darling Harbour.
Yeah. But half of it's
does that
under
include
construction.
things like the IMAX and stuff?
Perhaps, yeah, perhaps.
Tumbalong Park, Scenic World, which is where the railway and the
Yep.
skyline is up at Katoomba is second biggest with 20.
Couple of
20,000.
Western Australian locations too. Elizabeth Quay, Bustleton Jetty.
Yep.
Quite nice.
I love the jetty.
The most reviewed park is in Perth.
Kings Park.
Kings Park and Botanic Garden.
Up on the hill overlooks the
So you
Swan
used to live
River and the longest decade of my life, those 2 years.
But at Hyde Park, came in at number 2.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like the museum, Melbourne Museum. Mona in
which I've been
Hobart.
to. I've been to Mona.
I've been there too.
Yeah.
Wild joint.
Don't mind a Mona. The Mona Museum. It's modern. What does it stand for? Modern
Museum. I don't know. It's some
Mona.
rich bloke off
It's
gambling.
the Mona.
Gambled a lot and built a museum.
Ah, yeah.
That's it.
Rich dude. I've been there. It's a really trendy. It's very trendy museum.
I just want to say, Google, what were you thinking when you decided to send us a list of the most reviewed recycling centres?
What about the thrift shops?
No, hang on.
It's the same
Let's
company.
talk about recycling centres, okay?
Yeah.
Metal Biz Recycling, Rockley in Queensland, with 348 reviews and an average of 4.78, followed by the Exchange Deposit in Southport. Like, why are we telling people about this?
They want to build up awareness that these places exist.
You know what? I'm going to log in right now because I'm filthy.
They want people to know they're there.
Thornley Recycling Centre is one of the greatest. It's like,
Yeah.
it's got 227 reviews at 4.8.
Hang
So
on a
they're
minute.
doing very well.
227 is the number 5 one.
Oh, Wetherill Park just pipped them.
Just pipped them because they had a higher average rating.
4.8.
4.96 is
Gypped.
in. Wow.
Man, I have already left a review. Simple process, great
What
staff,
about
doing our bit. Newest review. Oh, no, it was 3 weeks ago. Oh, 1 star, not good.
Okay. Most reviewed vintage clothing shops. That's
Do I look like someone who?
That's
I mean,
a millennial. Sort
I've
of
had
thing,
this
isn't it?
shirt for so long, as
vintage.
Scott from Espresso will attest to. This is the shirt that I review Espresso displays in.
Oh, so
So
just coincidence.
So
is it?
I the first Espresso display I reviewed in a video wearing this, and then I turned up to the briefing for the next one.
Wearing the same shirt. Mate, you only had one shirt.
And
Is that
so
what
I
you
did. So I did the review of the next one in this shirt
On purpose.
Yeah, or I think it's this one. I'm pretty sure.
That's funny.
It's so bad that I saw someone in PR the other day, and I mentioned this to you last week, and they noticed I had a new shirt, and I went, I don't think it's good that you know that I bought a new shirt. But anyway, let's talk thrift shops. What are you saying? Vintage clothing? What?
Yeah, vintage clothing shops. Retropolis in Preston in Victoria, 433 reviews, 4.55 average rating. Number 2 was in Newtown, Real Deal. Melbourne's got another one, Retro Star Vintage Clothing. Newtown Vintage in Newtown, of course. Treasure Vintage in Melbourne. So Sydney and Melbourne have just cornered the vintage clothing shop market.
I was just reading Daniel's write-up of this on EFTM.
Yeah.
He says, after the list there, he says, there's technically some perks for adding your thoughts and reviews to maps with socks or even a pin randomly sent to local guides. He says, however, as a level 9 local guide who's never received a perk, I do it for the love and hope that it would help someone in the future. So I'm now gutted that my level 7 is A, below Daniel, and B, that I'm never going to receive anything.
Wow.
I mean, they're unrivaled.
Should they incentivise? Is that what you're trying to say? Or?
Look, I think they should. I think there's something
It helps,
about
it helps everyone.
it helps. Like if it encourages me to do it more, and it's this trust, you build a trust, then people, because they can bring the trusted ones to the top.
Yep.
Because you know what, there are some arseholes out there that do a harbour cruise and don't get enough beer, and so they all leave 1-star reviews, and it can ruin that business.
Hang on, that's what I asked. Like, is there a right of reply for that? Like,
just to hit reply and say, mate, please, we've dealt with this. So no.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do as a business.
And in your case, would you equally take the time to give it a bad review if you have a bad experience?
It's a really interesting point.
You do that only for good
rarely
reviews?
do, but at times I have. Yeah, because I felt like it was like we had this experience in Newport in LA down the beach at a shop that Jolly wanted to go and buy something. It was such a bad experience. Like we were there to buy something, and it was just such a bad experience. And we walked out, and I just left a Google review, and I thought, this is just unbelievable. Like sometimes the business has to know. Yeah. And I think for me that's important.
Because just like, we've good news travels fast, but bad news or negative stuff can travel even faster and really do something.
Yeah. Look, I think it's important to include truth in your review.
But you're more likely to leave a positive review.
I'm far more likely to leave a positive
It's like
review.
eBay, like eBay, to leave a negative review on eBay, it's really hard. You got to go through and answer a few questions about that. So they'd prefer you not to leave a review at all if it's going to be negative, a rating.
But I think that's bad.
Yeah. Well, it's changed slightly, but I remember years ago it was all near impossible to leave a negative review on eBay. But now it's a great way of knowing what sort of seller or buyer you are.
I mean, look, Apple Maps is very good. It's so much better than it ever was, and it gets better by the day. And I use it a lot in the car these days, but I still go back to Waze, which is owned by Google. But you can't beat the data that Google has. And look, one of the reasons for that is simplicity. I remember trying to update the Apple Maps listing for the pub, and I had to go through so much palaver just to own it and log in and all that stuff. And I thought it's just easier with a Google account. Like if you don't have an iCloud account, I don't know how you're going through that process. So sometimes the Apple process is just a bit harder. Yeah. And therefore, I think that's the power that Google has, is they have such a depth of information. Yeah. And remember, like it's got to be 2018. Yep. They announced at Google I/O, they had this AI voice speaking phone thing where...
Was that long ago, 2018?
Yeah, because I remember, because I was doing a speaking tour at the time, and it was 2018. So, yeah. And so you could get this phone call as a restaurant or a hairdresser saying, trying to book an appointment. But the real benefit of that was going to be, and this is still a problem, you're coming up to Australia Day, Anzac Day, Christmas Day, and you look at, is Woolworths open? Well, someone's got to update that. Someone's got to log in. I remember doing it for Mum. I'd ring up and say, you open Boxing Day. They try and send emails and stuff. But if they use the phone to ring a pub and say, hey, it's Google here, can you just clarify your opening hours? And they could say, hang on, I got to get the manager. They'll say, no worries, I'll wait. But it's all a computer.
Yeah, it's an AI.
And that computer listing can then get updated. Yeah. And hundreds of phone calls could be made a minute.
How do you know they're not doing that now?
I don't believe they are. I think they would be spruiking that.
Yeah.
So there's more they could be doing. And it's fascinating to think, it's fascinating to think about the data they would have just of places we go. Because as a business, you also get a pretty interesting report every month about, how many people clicked on links and looked at your page, called you. You get, as a business, you get a report saying how many people clicked the call button on Google Maps.
Yeah, right.
In a Google search listing.
That's good to know if you're a business owner.
It's very good. Yeah. You get a sense of how things have changed.
A mate of mine is a videographer, sort of producer. He worked for years as a Google, helping businesses with their Google listings. And helping them. Because, if you contribute more to your listing, you rank better too. So it's all, you're improving not only your presence, but also your rank on Google as well. Yeah. Now, Google Street View. When did that come in, you reckon?
Oh, I don't know.
Have a guess.
13 years ago.
Longer. 2007 it came in.
Okay.
That's when it first started. I remember writing the first story about that when I was still working at the Telegraph.
Yeah, right.
And it's using the cars. When you see the cars driving around with big cameras on top. And I think the headline on my story was in the news section about, now you can Google your bins out the front of your house. You can see the bins, something like that. Some clever sub.
I mean, again, you think about the money involved in that, but now you realise that the idea of Street View isn't just to see what's happening, right? It's also they're gathering data that they use in the look around. So when you're standing on a street corner in San Jose, you can use your phone to go, which way do I go? And you do this, and it looks at the buildings. It matches that against a Street View image. I know where you are.
Puts an arrow there.
I know exactly where you are. That's huge.
Yeah. So that was that's since 2007, they've captured over 220 billion images and travelled more than 10 million miles across 100 countries and territories.
Wow.
So
and Apple copied them and did the same thing.
Yeah. What's their one called?
Look Around.
Yeah.
Is it Look Around?
Yeah.
Because I'm just looking at my house in Look Around, and
they've
only done it once. Because
so you're on Apple Maps.
It's hilarious because I'm on the radio out the front. I'm on the phone. So if you go around the corner, you see me on the phone. Hang on, I'll turn the picture.
And Trevor's address is
Yeah, look at this. I'm standing out the front of my house on the radio.
Yeah, wow.
It's the only reason I'm standing out the front on the phone.
What was this problem with the receipt? How long ago would that have been?
It's a long time ago now, yeah. It's way pre-COVID. Wow. They've only been passed once. Well, I mean, I own the Commodore, so it's
that's a bit older.
6 years at least.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, look, I think it's remarkable. I think Google Maps is one of the greatest pieces of technology in a very, very, very long time. And I think it's awesome that it has its
20. Imagine what it's
going
to be like in another 20 years. What improvements that they could have come up with.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Two Blokes Talking Tech. Great to have your company, folks.
Everything about tech you never wanted to know. This is Two Blokes Talking Tech.
And we do it all thanks to the great people at Netgear. And one of the things that Netgear routers have for you isn't just great connectivity, but it's also safety and security. So there is security that you can enable on your Netgear, say, Orbi device. There's also parental controls. These things can be a game changer when it comes to keeping your network safe, keeping your devices safe, and keeping your kids safe. They are simple to activate. They are simple and low-cost subscriptions that just work in the Orbi app. So Netgear Armor Security is an all-in-one security solution. It connects and protects all your devices. So it's not you don't need to have security software on your TV. The Netgear Armor through your Orbi system is protecting that for you. So well worth a look at if you are considering a Wi-Fi product. Ask yourself what else it can do for you in addition to just connecting you, because security, parental controls and things like that are a big, big improvement when it comes to your family home. So check it out, and you can find all the details at netgear.com.au.
This is Two Blokes Talking Tech.
Well, it had to happen. Disney Plus. Disney owns a lot of things.
Yes.
And they love bringing it all together. And they are bringing
ESPN.
Live TV and a lot of extra recorded content to Disney Plus.
It's another streaming service that's getting more sport content.
Yeah.
But it's not being taken, like if you got Fox, it's still going to be on Fox.
That's right. So Fetch.
So it's not going in from, it's added to this, not being taken away from
right.
you.
Yeah.
I had a few questions about it.
Yeah. If you've got a Foxtel subscription or a Fetch subscription and you've got ESPN, you'll still get ESPN.
Yeah.
Now, will they renew those deals in 3 years, 5 years, whenever they're up? Who knows? But the fact is that in America, you can get the ESPN app and you can use your cables. America's a different world. You have a cable subscription. You choose the ESPN channel. You get a login. You can log into the ESPN app.
Watch it on
We don't have that in Australia. So this is an opportunity to have ESPN in the palm of your hand on your big screen TV wherever you want.
Yep.
So it means that a lot of MLB games, a lot of NBA games, a lot of sport
but
is going to be on Disney Plus.
ESPN holds some rights to live sport, but not all of them. Is that right?
Oh, no. No, well, in America, they hold.
So you might be able to watch one or two NFL games a week, or
that's right.
You might baseball game a week.
There's a lot of baseball games every week, so there's always a lot of baseball
they have opening day and that too, don't they? Yeah.
But you're not guaranteed to see every Dodgers game at all.
Yeah.
No way. But it's still a lot.
But there's also
There's also no price increased.
No price increase.
No, they're not charging extra for it.
At the moment.
Well, I read the release quite in between the lines, and it says very clearly that there's no additional cost to current subscribers.
Yep.
there's also nothing stopping them putting the price up in a year from now as they have done in the past. So just be warned.
Yeah.
And to me, that's frustrating because if they put the price up by $5 a month in a year from now, let alone more, the people that don't want sport, they'll be like, hang on a minute, I don't want that.
Yeah.
It's like, Star movies and all that other stuff they own. What if I don't want all that and I just want the kids' cartoons?
That's part of the deal now, mate.
I
It's
know.
like they got Star Wars, Marvel, National
I
Geographic.
definitely don't want to be paying for Star Wars.
Why the hell not?
Like, remove that from my
No, but
subscription.
It's not structured in a way where you are doing that.
But I'm saying
it's part of the package.
Sport is like that for some people. They're like, I'm
Maybe.
not paying for
Yeah,
this.
Okay. And so you're saying if there's a price increase, then they're going to say, well, is it because of ESPN being added to it? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a case to make it so it's an add-on. You can pay for that add-on or not.
Yeah.
If you don't
I mean, the
want
same way that
if you
Stan
don't
Sport-
accept the price increase, take away the
That's
sport.
my advice is do that, but no one listens to me. But
Yeah.
I would make it like Stan Sport. You get Stan for $10 a month, $20 a month, whatever you want.
pay extra for
you
the
pay
sport.
15 for sport.
Yeah.
If you want it, you got it.
Well, speaking of which, like the streaming services now seem to be a very popular platform for sports. Like
Yeah.
Stan
Well, we
Sport,
talked about it last week, didn't we?
Yeah, and we talk and the rights and everything too. And we've seen it on Netflix, we've seen it on Stan, Paramount Plus has the soccer, and others are coming. So I think it's a case of let's put the sport where the eyeballs are.
Yeah, I think
There's a lot of
I
people
think
there.
from Disney's point of view, they're just going, what do we own, and how do we make sure that we're giving? I'll give them credit. One of the thought processes would be, how do we make sure that everyone who's paying for Disney Plus is getting exceptional value for it? Because then it makes it harder to cancel, right?
Absolutely.
How has Netflix changed for you in the last 10 years? I would say, well, they're making great content now of their own.
Yeah.
But
All
I
the
don't
big
care about all the
blockbuster
sports stuff
movies
they've been
and-
doing, right?
Yeah.
I just don't care. None of it has interested
Well,
me at all.
to me, Netflix seemed to be just dabbling in the sport, whereas others are already in it.
Well, as I said last week, I think they're dabbling to prove
the
point.
use case. Yeah,
they're trying to refine the technology, refine the processes and all that stuff. That's why they're dabbling.
Yeah, right.
Whereas the great thing is Disney doesn't need to do that. They're just got to say, hey, all of that content we're making over in that building with those people, put it in here.
Bring it over here.
That's all they're doing.
Exactly.
Which is smart.
And like the have you seen those 30 for 30?
I've seen one or
docos?
two of them, but there's heaps of them.
They're really high quality docos. I know how much you like high quality docos. We've watched a few.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them on the private. But they are, if you're a sports fan and you want to relive some of those amazing times, amazing athletes and moments, the 30 for 30 series is exceptional.
Yeah, and
stuff.
all of them, the whole library of them are
you
going to be
can
on Disney
access
Plus.
all of them.
When do you
And-
think this will happen?
I'm tipping it'll be just after the footy season starts. I reckon April, May, around that time.
I just don't know why.
It'll
I
be
think it'll be in early March before baseball.
That's what I was going to say. When's opening day of baseball? Isn't it early April?
25th of March, yeah.
Is that right? It's earlier this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the end of March normally.
Yeah, well, probably then.
They normally have a pretty exotic first week and then it gets into the
Because
January
they have the
season.
rights to opening day, don't they?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And so that'll be late March. And we are, like, this only went live in Latin America in June, right? And USA in December. And so we're the first English-speaking country, us and New Zealand, first English-speaking countries to get it after the US.
Yeah, right.
So they know how much we love our sport.
They do.
Yeah.
And I don't think too many Australians with Disney Plus will be too unhappy about it because there'd be a lot of people also.
Great.
If Fetch have got, let's call it 1 million subscribers and
Yeah.
Foxtel have got 1.2 million,
Yeah.
that means there's another 20 million people who don't have ESPN,
That's right.
right? So
Well,
they're suddenly going to
There's
have
going
all
to be
this.
a lot of people who are going to suddenly have it. You're right. It's going to be
That's
a
probably the
pleasant
calculation
surprise.
they did to go,
Yeah.
let's just give it to them.
Yeah. That can't hurt ESPN's resume. can it?
Make it better value. That's what they're
Yeah.
doing, and I think that's a very smart move.
I think so. And mate, it's the streaming services. It's more competitive than ever, and it's come to a point now where we've seen some price increases, and people are going to have to make decisions on what ones they want to keep, what ones they're going to let go. And I think if you can have a compelling argument to keep it, so in Disney's case, we've got ESPN as well as Star Wars, Marvel, National Geographic, Star, all Fox content. So it's just really bolstering their position, I reckon.
Huge deal for them.
Yeah.
All right, check it out. The details, as sparse as they are, are at techguide.com.au and EFTM.com.
This is Two Blokes Talking Tech with Trevor Long and Stephen Fennick.
Now, HMD has released a new off-grid device. I did speak about this on my Tech Guide podcast in depth, but we are talking about how you can now, in Australia, with this product, you can be in the middle of nowhere and be able to, through an app on your phone, doesn't need to be the latest and greatest smartphone, as long as you're able to run this app, you can then connect through the HMD off-grid, send and receive messages.
I describe it as a gateway between your smartphone and the satellites. Yeah.
So that's a good link. Yeah.
This thing's like a big key ring. It's like a big things fit in the palm of your hand.
It's about this big,
And I don't even think it's that big. And
fits in your
and it you turn it on, it can see the satellites, it can communicate with them, and then this specific app, you can have your family and friends also use the app. You can share location, send text messages at your own will. So it's a level above Apple SOS satellite, because Apple satellite emergency is only for emergencies.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like, okay, Aaron,
You want to check in.
I'm driving a lap of the map. He's going to be 2 days where he's in no mobile coverage.
Yeah.
If you could just check in every
Which you
day,
did.
mate, just so we know.
Yeah.
If you could send us a text when you get there, thank you.
Yep.
And you'll do that via this. I think it's awesome. I think it's a great thing. It's $329, and then you could either have a monthly subscription or an annual one, depending on how often you want to use it.
Yeah. So
Great
if you're out a lot, if you need you want to have with the yearly subscription, you get I think unlimited check-ins and unlimited messages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it is. You're right. I used to get. Joe and I used to hear from Aaron saying, "Oh, look, we're going into this area here. We don't have reception. We'll talk to you in a week and a half." And we're going, okay, and see what happens. But now it's all changed.
Well, I thought it was timely also because I noticed that in America, the latest iOS update has enabled beta test for some users on the T-Mobile network of the Starlink system.
Oh.
So this is essentially what Telstra announced and what Optus have previously announced, where a regular mobile phone, in this case an iPhone, can use its existing antennas to communicate with the Starlink low Earth orbit satellites.
Yep.
This was waiting for regulatory approval in the US from the FAA. No, FAA?
Mm-hmm.
FAA. Federal, no, that's the aviation. FEC. Someone like that.
SEC.
Someone, FCC.
Some regulatory body.
FCC had to approve, the use of this technology.
Yep.
Now, I know this is big because I noticed a couple of big YouTubers like Mark Rober really promoting this in a, obviously a deal with T-Mobile. Because for T-Mobile, it means that you can be anywhere in America and send texts. So initially, I think it's just going to be texts, and then it might roll out to phone calls, and then at some point there might be a small amount of data.
Yep.
But if it's being tested now on an Apple beta by a beta testing group, might be thousands of people on T-Mobile in America. The only thing we're waiting for is the same regulatory approval in Australia and potentially extra satellites, because you realise they burn off Starlink satellites after like 5 years and replace them. So basically, it's a replacement cycle. The new ones have this cellular capability. It may not be too long before you won't need this HMD off grid. But the thing is, in the year or three between now and then, this is an unbelievable product. But I can't wait. I cannot wait. To try this.
So
Starlink
that gives us another reason to plan a road trip. We're going to do a road trip.
Yeah.
With Telstra is in testing now, So they're already in testing. Optus would be probably off.
You would assume
their own
so,
internal testing would be happening now as well.
You'd assume so.
So I think I think sort of more so in the case of Australia, this would be a more important feature for us because I know people live in the middle of America, right? There's no deserts in the middle of America.
There are. I mean, there's obviously deserts, but
not as
America
big,
is heavily populated,
and they evenly populated.
They have a lot of coverage. I wonder what the number is, if I can find it.
They'd have way more coverage of their landmass than we would.
Well, no, let's do AT&T. AT&T is the bigger network. Coverage of USA by landmass. Because in Australia, Telstra have up to 30% coverage of Australia.
Yeah.
They quote 99% because that's population.
But like the actual landmass is it like 65%? Is not nowhere near 65%?
It's more like 70%.
Is it?
Yeah. So as per the FCC, the AT&T has the most outdoor area covered with 58.46% of America covered.
Wow.
Verizon,
of the landmass.
Verizon has 56%. And so that's down to essentially the number of towns. Like if we had more towns in regional Australia, Telstra would have more towers, Optus would have more towns.
Yep.
T-Mobile only has 37.44%. So that makes them the best ones to add on this Starlink service because it means they can go, hey, you can be standing anywhere.
Yeah.
As long as you can see the sky, you've got mobile coverage.
Maybe it was a smart move.
Cellular coverage.
Why build towers out in the middle of nowhere where we can wait for the satellites?
That's essentially what they're all waiting for. There'll be no more towers built. Because
new towers built.
No.
There's the existing towers.
Yeah, there
that
might be ones built where there's new populations actually added.
Yeah,
but,
right.
5G Advanced, I talked about this like 2 Mobile World Congresses ago.
Yeah.
5G Advanced is a technology that uses low Earth orbit satellites. I don't know that Telstra is going to call their Starlink stuff 5G Advanced or what, but it's super exciting.
But getting back to the HMD one, that means that even older phones can use it.
Correct.
So, like, I know a lot. You were mentioning the emergency SOS.
Yeah.
That's only sort of the latest Apple iPhones, and I think Samsung has that too
Apple,
now.
Apple 14 or on.
So you need a relatively new iPhone for that to work.
Yeah.
This would work as long as you can download the app on your phone.
Yeah.
So it can be an older phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't tested it, so I think
Yeah.
the people you're trying to communicate have to have the app as well, because it doesn't send an SMS.
It sends it via
sends
the
kind of
satellite,
this proprietary message
peer-to-peer
app, I
almost
think.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay.
That's my guess.
Again, another reason why we should test this on a road trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you should organise that, not me.
Okay. Just give me your availability and we'll work it out.
It's pretty light.
Okay,
Until
because
about
it'll have to be after you go away.
probably, yeah.
After
Let's
April.
be
So
real.
in winter. Good on you. Winter
It's a
time.
good point.
Yeah, winter. That's all right.
We need a long list of the things we're going to
I'll
do.
pack my tech guy jacket, mate.
People are sick of us talking about this because we haven't done anything. We've just
Well, I
been banging
think
on
we
about
should.
it.
We should. We'd have to do. There'd be a solid review, solid amount of reviews we could do out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll organise some ridiculous one of
Telescope,
those telescopy things you have.
telescopy things.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? And we can maybe get back into the into a new EV every week as well, eh?
That's happening. I've
that's
started.
happening.
Emails
Oh.
are out. Yeah.
Good stuff, mate.
It's happening. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Two Blokes Talking Tech. If you have a view on all these things, you can find us at techguide.com.au and EFTM.com.
This is Two Blokes Talking Tech with Trevor Long and Stephen Fennick.
Two Blokes Talking Tech is proudly supported by Arlo. Arlo is the place to go if you want to buy your security cameras for your home. There's a few different types of cameras you can buy, but today I'm going to talk about the wired floodlight. Now, wired means it's wired for power, so you don't need to have to charge it.
Yep.
So it's power constantly, but it does connect to your network wirelessly, so it can be part of your setup. If you got a front door camera, backyard camera, indoor camera, it all links together. Now, it's only $249 as well, by the way. So you can keep your home safe day and night. And this is the obviously reactive movement. They're actually, the design is sort of the lights are articulated, so you can actually aim it where you want to go, aim the camera also where you want to go as well. So a really good way once you, if intruders sort of, it does deter intruders. They see a bright light come on, they go, "Ooh, I'm out of here." And the brightness of these lights, I've said it before, you could shoot a movie in front of these lights. It's that bright. It is amazing. Hollywood said, forget those lights. Just get some Arlo floodlights. That'll do us. We'll be able to light up the whole thing. And you're able to monitor a wider area as well. So with the lights, it does let you see a lot further. If you do need an electrician, obviously, to install it. You can't just plug it unless you know how to do it. You can't just do this yourself.
No, you're not allowed to.
Yeah. But it is a great way to, as I said, deter intruders, keep an eye on your property. Also comes with 30-day trial of the Arlo Secure plan as well. So that lets you see all those smart notifications and all those features that are included, including like things like flame detection, person detection, all of those things. 2K HDR video, 160-degree field of view, two-way audio, the siren built in. It's got everything. The Arlo wired floodlight. Check it out at arlo.com.
This is Two Blokes Talking Tech.
Now, Stephen, it was Safer Internet Day on Tuesday, so there was a lot of talk about scams and kids and a lot of different things. The E-Safety Commissioner was out talking about stuff. There's a lot going on. TPG Vodafone put out a bunch of information, which I think was probably the most interesting to a broader audience, about the impact of scams on Aussies, which is, pretty fascinating stuff because, this is, we think of it as a bit kind of second nature. I think our audience would have a higher level of knowledge than the average person. But some of the things that scared me most was, and I'll just jump to this one, was nearly 1/3 of Australians had never heard of dating and romance scams.
Well, there's Valentine's Day this week, so timely.
And
Yeah.
that just makes it a real risk for them.
That doesn't surprise you. People go into dating sites and apps and stuff with high hopes.
Imagine if you were out there single and ready to mingle again.
Yeah. The internet wasn't invented when I was on the dating scene.
With phones?
Not mobile phones, no. Well before. So it was just do your best.
Alexander Graham Bell was doing his best.
So no, I think though that it's not. I'm not surprised that people haven't heard of this. The whole romance scam. People go, how can you get scammed on romance? I think, well, it's all about someone matching with you, sort of grooming you, becoming close to you, and then suddenly saying, oh, you know what? I love you, but I need some money. My daughter's sick, or I can't pay my rent, and then that's how they then
another one
try to get the
another
cash.
one of those is they just spend a long time, and they will spend months. We on that podcast Anatomy of a Scam we did with Deb Knight at 2GB. We spoke to victims and as well as people that investigate this stuff, and there was people that had been for 6 months or more. Just in an online relationship, right?
Wow.
Never met, just in an online relationship, lovely chats and real kind of connection. And then it wasn't about being ripped off like that. It was actually, I just made 10 grand yesterday on my portfolio. And it's like, really? Look, no pressure, but you should look into it, you know?
Mm.
And then they suggest this investment to them. And here's the thing, the next 6 months, they're investing 10 grand and they put another 5 grand in because what they get access to is a dashboard, like a login, to see how their portfolio is going. It's all fake. The person at the other end of the chat is fake. The portfolio dashboard, completely fake. Like you log in, it's just got today's performance is up.
Oh, no.
It's always up. And so because it's up, they put more money in. And so they're investing money in something that's not an investment at all. It's just sending it offshore to a scammer.
Yeah, wow.
That's a romance scam as well because you were baited into it by a potential, online lover.
Yeah.
Sad, mate.
These people, they build up this rapport and trust, and you get to know them really closely, and you think, okay, I can trust them, and they play on that, and that's hence the reason why it's such a big deal. What surprised me though in the stats was that there's been people who've been scammed more than once.
Yeah, that's wild.
There's 1 in 4 have been a victim of a romance scam in 2024 of the 1,000 people they surveyed. 1 in 10 admitted they've been scammed multiple times in the past year.
That's amazing.
What's going on?
Yeah.
So look, it is an appropriate time to be talking about it because Valentine's Day and sort of the whole romance time. But get this though, here's the other danger, and we've been talking about AI, deep fake, all this stuff, and people go to, as you mentioned, people can be talking on for months. Online relationship. That's a bit of work. That's work they're putting in, right? So imagine the other work they can put in by creating a fake person.
Yeah.
AI.
Mate.
Here's my photo. Because that's one thing with the romance scam. You can't, they're very, the photos aren't that forthcoming, right? Because, and so now with deepfake, they can create an identity. They can say, here, this is, this is, what's his face? Joe Bloggs. Here, look at what he looks like. And could use AI to create a realistic image that you believe. Oh, hang on, this is Joe. This is Joe surfing. This is Joe doing this.
Yeah,
and that. Using deepfake, and you're thinking, well, this person must be real.
Yeah, but the deepfake thing's a problem. But also, some people just kind of fall for things, and I wish I could find it now. But I had this one coming through like by DMs on Instagram. Yeah. And I was going to try and find it for you because I was going to show you the picture that was sent to me. But it was just this person.
What sort of picture was it?
Here's the thing: it was what you'd expect from a female trying to.
An admirer, was it, mate? Fan of the Today Show, was it?
No. Well, okay. So here's how it worked. This person would regularly, heart or thumbs up or even reply to an Instagram story.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of those, so I'm just like, yeah, cool, whatever, thumbs up. And then there'd be like the odd question, what are you up to or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not replying to some random, what are you up to?
Yeah.
And then there was a photo sent. It wasn't nude. It was close to it, though. But here's what Trevor does, because Trevor loves a scammer. So Trevor took a screenshot of that photo. If I was on a Samsung, I'd do circle search, and I did a reverse image search. And I went, that photo's on the internet like 100 times. Yeah. And so I wrote back and go, why are you sending me a try? Yeah. I wrote back and said, why are you sending me a random photo from the internet?
Mate, I'll tell you a story. I got the similar thing. Yeah, hi, how you going? Photo. And I searched for the photo, and it was a photo. Have you heard of that actress Bella Thorne? She's like a influencer. She's on OnlyFans, but she was like an actress, sort of influencer. And I'm thinking, well, this person must think I'm an idiot, thinking, that's their photo.
Send a famous person photo. That's smart. Idiots.
But that's how it starts. So they try to get your trust, and you know what? The random photo like that, right? Where you, who was I talking to? I think I was talking to a friend of mine. Anyway, they were saying, similar deal where they get the random message, and they were doing something. You must be having the ball, blah blah. And then they showed me. I remember I was playing golf. I can't remember who it was. And they showed me. I said, look at the photo. They sent a photo of just the girl sent a photo of just her in a bra. I just can't see her face. Just bra to undies. I'm thinking that's unusual. Just that escalated that conversation. Where'd that come from? Yeah. So it's that sort of thing.
If it's this easy, I might go single.
Try to keep you enticed that way and sort of keep your interest, and they just tow you along and then see what happens.
And if you, Mike, this is the thing. And let's be honest, the demographics are obviously normally older that you fall victim to these things. But it's super sad. And one of the things I was talking about this week was you need to think about the other people in your lives with this, because it might be that uncle who's a widower now, it might be that grandfather. It might be there's someone who, like, I think about my mum falling for scams just on Facebook, because all she does is scroll Facebook if she's not watching TV or, out and about. Just like in the evening while the news is on, she'll just be scrolling, looking at funny videos. And I wonder how easy it's going to be for her to fall for that stuff. You need to think about other people in your life.
Yeah.
And have these conversations at the dinner table.
Absolutely. But that advice, I know younger years, like my kids are in their 20s now. It'd be hard to trick them with that sort of thing, right?
You'd like to think so, but you never know.
Yeah.
They're bloody smart.
But some of the tips, though, like one of them stuck out for me was the tip was to have a code word.
Yeah.
So
this is the best tip for families that exists.
So in case, say, a family member asks for money, like they're impersonating your child, this thing happened on WhatsApp. Hey, like, I lost my phone. Here's my thing. I need money now.
Yeah.
And okay, what's the code word? And they'll go, what? So if you say, for example, if I say to my three kids,
we should have a code word for us.
If I say to my kids, if you ever need to contact me for money, if you got to text me, you can't call me, then the code word will be Rabbitohs.
That's a really dumb code word.
Anyway, whatever it happens to be. If there's a person imitating your child and sounds convincing, but you think
because they could sound like them because of AI. Yeah. It could even be a video call that looks like them because of AI.
You don't know. So
you just say to them, "Okay, I'm glad you're okay.
The code word.
What do you need?
What's the code word?
I need $1,000 urgently. Okay, what's the code word?
Yeah." And they'll say...
And it's like, Lance Stroll shouldn't be an F1 driver. Like, that's our code phrase.
That's a bunch of words.
It's Lance Stroll shouldn't be a Formula 1 driver.
Okay, well, that's a bit specific. That's very specific.
It's a good phrase.
No one's going
to say that randomly.
Yeah, maybe.
And if they say it, I'll be like, $1,000, bugger you. Know what I'm saying?
But it's got to that. Can you believe it? That's what I thought about. It's got to that point where we need to use code words among our family to make sure no one's imitating them to scam us out of our money.
We should use code words for the people we were talking about before we hit record.
Well, they'll have to put some thinking into that one.
It'd be like the book that Molly's game.
Oh, yeah, the change your names.
Some names are true, some names aren't.
You remember that one, did you?
There you go. How's that for a movie reference, Trev?
Yeah, what was that? We did that late, early in January that we went to. Yeah, January it was released. Yeah.
I think we recorded it.
Great show, that. One of the best movies you've never seen. What a great show. What a great idea for a show.
Well,
Trevor's never seen a show a movie in his life, and it's paying off.
It is.
He's never seen a movie. It's
paying
off.
Fetch and High Sense. We appreciate your support.
So there you have it.
You're looking for another podcast to listen to?
Every Friday it comes out on its own feed. Every Saturday on this feed.
If you normally skip it, just give it another crack.
Just press play. You'll be very entertained.
Just give it another crack.
It's us two talking, so
Yeah.
If you're liking this podcast, imagine us chatting about a movie.
But if you've got feedback,
chat about a movie.
Reach out, let us know. We'd love your feedback. We're always open to iterations.
Even suggestions for movies to cover as well.
I'm looking for feedback. I'm looking at how to make the show better, grow it, grow the audience. Like, what can we do? Anyway, this is still the best value podcast you've ever downloaded.
Absolutely. This feed is, 6 days a week?
6 days a week, mate.
That's remarkable.
A couple of them are, hit and miss, but...
What are you talking about? When Tech Guide on
Private
Tuesday nights?
feed and EV show. Some people don't love it. That's all.
What? They love it.
I was trying not to bag Tech Guide.
Thanks, mate. Anyway, Tech Guide available every Monday night on Tech Guide and every Tuesday night on Two Blokes Talking Tech.
EFTM available right here in this feed on Wednesday nights.
We know podcasts. We do half of them on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts. We do them.
I still want some research into
how we stand, our
longevity,
standing. Yeah. Maybe Apple would have that information. Would they give it to us though?
Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they want to celebrate us?
I don't know.
They build a studio for this stuff at their big events.
They do too. Hey, the podcast studio.
You think you'd celebrate it?
Wow.
There you go. Two Blokes Talking Tech. Great to have your company here on this podcast.
This is Two Blokes Talking Tech.
Jeez,
You can just reach them.
do props.
There we go.
Put them in front
These
of your
are
head.
the Power Beats Pro
Power Beats
2.
Pro 2. Very environmental packaging because Apple's involved. Because Apple owns Beats, folks.
Boom.
So there they are there in Stephen's camera now. Great, good to know. Excellent. There they are. Wonderful. I went for the orange because why not stand out?
Why not look like a witch's hat?
These are, mate, very good if you're running in the dark, safety.
Yeah. I know.
So I remember the Power Beats Pro. They were excellent. These are a much more rounded design. Very rounded design on the stalk that comes down the ear. It's got a different alloy in the ear twist here to make this more malleable. So therefore, it's easier to kind of mold to your
Did
ear.
you say malleable or malleable?
Malleable.
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 Malleable is the
And I'll
word.
say whatever I want to say.
Give me the other one.
Stuff you. But the big thing about these is they have a heart rate monitor in them.
Ooh.
So while they're in your ear, while you're out going for a run,
Yep.
heart rate monitor built in. The second biggest thing about them is Shohei Ohtani from the LA Dodgers is a key part of the marketing campaign alongside Lionel Messi and LeBron James.
Really?
I don't know why I became French then.
Yeah, why?
LeBron James,
LeBron.
Lionel Messi,
Yeah.
and Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, there you go. All of them there. What are these worth, mate?
$399.95.
Wow. So these noise cancelling. These do
Noise
everything.
cancelling, heart rate
Do
monitor.
everything. Make your bed in the morning.
They don't do that. But they're Apple H2 chips, so they
Yes. Well,
they have a
Apple
better
own them,
chip
hello.
than the AirPods Max. And
Really? When is that going to get updated?
like they've already
Is
just
there,
been
is there
updated
AirPods? Oh, no, they update
with
the colours.
USB-C.
Ah, that's right. But no, internally nothing changed.
Nothing.
Hello. You're right. So there's no lightning. It's just a USB-C charging now.
Yep.
A couple of new colours. So
Yeah.
that's an iteration, is it? They reckon that's AirPads
Yep.
2.
No, they don't say two. I don't think they do, no. But
Is
these
there-
come
are
in
there
four
any-
different colours.
Okay.
A purple, the orange, a kind of black and a white. But yeah, I like the orange. to
I
be
don't
honest.
mind them. Yeah.
Yeah,
They stand out a bit, eh? If I didn't have earphones on already.
yeah.
So that you can buy, you'd see that from a mile away.
Which is why Shohei Ohtani, Lionel Messi, and LeBron James are not wearing the orange in the ad.
USB-C
It's a pretty good
charge
ad.
too.
They've done a YouTube video. It's on EFTM.com. It's a pretty good ad that kind of, inspirational.
You got some solid names in there too. That helps.
Mate, big names.
How long has Beats owned Apple for?
Apple's
Apple's
owned
owned
Beats.
Beats for quite a while, eh?
Yeah, Dre did pretty well out of the deal.
Yeah, doing very well,
It's like $1 billion or something, wasn't it?
Wow, Dr. Dre.
Far out.
Amazing.
Do you
isn't it?
understand the Kendrick Lamar Drake issue?
No.
No, neither do I.
Man,
That
to watch
Super
the
Bowl
Super Bowl?
halftime was a tough watch.
Yeah. And I'm not across it, mate.
There's
Not
drama.
across it at all.
There's drama.
Oh, yeah, I heard, but I just couldn't be bothered looking into it. It was
Yeah.
just too...
How do you rate
you,
the
you
Super Bowl
nearly...
halftime show?
Yeah, it was good. I didn't mind it. Like Samuel L. Jackson was involved. It's pretty good. Not bad.
That was a 6 out of 10 at best.
You reckon? Okay. It was, well, for the fans, they would have rated it higher than that, but it was not bad. It was a spectacle.
Going for a young audience.
Yeah.
I always
Glad
think-
that, and this will be a private feed conversation at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, okay.
Listen to the private feed.
I'll tell you about my sports bet victories.
Giddy up. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
watched every minute of it. I loved it. This Monday, and the team I was cheering for got up too.
Same.
I'll tell you, and you'll know why I was cheering for him, of course.
Jordan Mailata.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
South Junior. Mate.
What a shock. Yeah, I know. Elbow told the world. All right. Well, very good stuff, mate. We should do. I think we should do this again next week.
Okay, we're going to be doing it. You've said that 669 times.
Well, I haven't said it with that sort of assholey style.
You haven't told me that conviction,
Yeah.
have you? Okay. Did we? I think you've played. We re-released episode 1, did we?
I think we did, yeah.
Yeah. We're all talking like this. Very,
Hi,
not a bad
Stephen.
price.
TechGuy.com and yourtechlife.com.
I don't think our voices were that different, were they?
I think they were.
Yours was. What?
Yeah, because
really?
I was still going through puberty.
Oh, yeah.
You're a father 3 times.
Oh, my God.
I was only a father 2 times.
Oh, my God. You're going through puberty. You idiot. Well, mate, what are you saying? Your balls have dropped in the 14 years or what?
It feels like they have.
Hello?
When I say feels like they have, I don't mean that
Feels
physically.
like they have.
Oh, I mean, I don't know, mate.
Wow. I can't believe we've been doing this for 14 years, to be honest. It's amazing.
I mean, what else have we been doing for
Amazing.
14 years?
Nothing. I'll be married for longer than that, but...
Same,
Yeah.
but it's
Doing this job, doing tech. Doing this, being
remarkable,
here.
really.
Being here. Tech Guide is that old as well. Tech Guide's 14 years old this year as well. So I started Tech Guide in January 2011 and this podcast in February 2011. And my Tech Guide podcast I started in 2012. So this got in ahead of my Tech Guide podcast, which is up to 631 now as well, Tech Guide. So, yeah. Unbelievable. We should add up how many podcasts we've actually done
Together.
between us.
Oh, between us?
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be huge.
Be a lot.
Because I had... So
You had your Tech Life, didn't you?
Yes, but I had Chip for Brains before that.
Chip for Brain.
But that was a radio show. And I really want to clarify, I'm not talking about a radio show that's been going for 15 years and pushing out as podcasts.
Yeah.
This is produced as a podcast.
Yeah.
So I won't count the Chip for Brain years.
Yeah.
I would only count the Your Tech Life years.
Should we get in touch with James Manning as well to let him know that it's been more than
Actually,
14 years?
now that he works at the Australian,
Yeah.
yes.
Maybe
Yes, I think
we should let him in. Might write a story about us in the Australian.
He might.
Hey.
He's a thinker,
Hello.
this bloke.
Hello. Well, he's the one who brought us together, eh? He brought us together. I was still at the Telegraph. You were at GB, and he brought us in on a podcast in their studio. It was at Fox Studios. They used to record at Fox.
What year did we start this show?
That was 2011. So this was
I
2010.
was not at GB.
Oh, you were? Where were you?
I was at SBS.
SBS. So 2010 we started doing it, eh? 2010.
The Media Week Tech podcast.
Yeah.
Must be, yeah.
It was 2010. Wasn't 2009, was it? No. It was 2010. I remember we even turned up one night at the iPhone launch. We did an iPhone launch.
We got photos of that.
With Matt Preston. Remember the guy from MasterChef?
Yep. Well, that was across the road at Telstra.
At Telstra Store, that's right. Yeah.
I remember that.
You remember that, do you?
Yeah.
Geez, your memory isn't that bad then.
No, it's not horrible. Yeah, I just need to be like
prodded.
Yeah. You know?
Okay.
Well, yeah, we should probably. Yeah, far out. You prod really hard.
That's not the first time I've heard that.
I'm just searching James Manning, Tech, and Stephen to see if I can find the OG email. Because
you'd have that. You'd have that email still. My God.
Of course I would.
Oh my God. Well, Media Week. Search for Media Week.
No, but I get Media Week daily reports, so I'd have tens of thousands of them.
those.
All right, so here we go. Tech podcast. James Manning, 13th of the 5th, 2010. Just confirming everyone's okay for a tech podcast at 4 p.m. today.
So what month?
So 2010, May.
Wow.
Topics to be discussed. 3D TV, a passing fad or a new frontier? Apple iPad and iPad. Any thoughts on the new Telstra T-Hub? NBM, will it change the way we consume media? We've got to download this. Latest developments in mobile phones. Apple versus Android, plus anything else new you've tried out recently.
Wow. Was that the very first time?
I would suggest so.
So May, what date in May?
13th of May, 2010. That's the first reference.
I was hoping you would have said May the 4th.
That's the first reference to anything like that I've got in my vast library of emails.
Every email ever sent to him.
Yeah, since 1995.
Received and sent.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have we looked for the first time you sent me an email?
No.
Okay, I'm doing it now. Before we go to the private feed, Stephen Finicci. Although this will be hard to, I'll have to go, I'll have to give it dates because there'll be so many of them. Before, what would we say, 20, I'll say just do 2011/01/01. Gotta love Gmail. So 2009, although I used to talk about you a lot as the program director of, assistant program director at 2GB.
You used to talk about me, not to me.
Yeah, with others, it had to happen.
I remember you brought me into the studio when you were doing the Thursday night show. There was me and David Flynn you brought in. David Flynn was a freelancer, I think, working for the Herald.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stephen Fennick is now following you on Twitter.
Well,
23rd of the 3rd, 2009.
Wow. Why would I do that?
How's this? This is wild. In 2008, in January, so before I left GB, Amanda was working at a little PR joint. She said, I need to pitch something to tech guides and online tech people and gadget people. Do you know a few? I've gone me. Peter someone, the gadget guy, Sunrose, also has a gadget magazine. Stephen Fennick, Telegraph, Connect section. Icon from the Herald, I think David Flynn. That's about it. That's my reply.
Yeah, wow.
I knew so little about the world of tech back then.
Well, it wasn't that big, was it?
No,
then?
no, it really wasn't.
Yeah. Pete Lucini you were referring to there from Sunrise. Wow. And Icon was the Herald section, wasn't it?
Yes.
That we used to just bash up every week with Connect.
And what you're talking about was in late December 2009, I sent you a DM saying, are you able to come on the show? And you said, sure, mate, in the studio or over the phone.
Boom.
You DM'd me.
I didn't say, who is this?
No, because Flinny said the same thing.
No, we were both in the studio. I remember we came in. Because I was already doing GB with Smithy. I was on his show for all that time.
I've got an email on my birthday in 2009 to the then program director, I guess, telling him, because this was for Your Tech Life when it was a radio show, I've got a huge show planned for Thursday. Wonder if it's possible, worthy of getting a promo. Stephen Fennick, editor of the Daily Telegraph's Connect Lift Out, and David Flynn, da-da-da-da, Christmas, da-da-da. I was going nuts.
Wow.
We may have even done one.
Mate, remind me, if I need to do like a research for a court case or something, I'll come to you. You got all the messages, haven't you?
Mate,
You got all the dirt. Every correspondence ever.
I've got everything.
How about that? You could when your wife asked for, and you knew the answer straight away.
Yeah,
that's crazy,
dude.
You'd be a good stalker.
I'm pretty good at it.
You're pretty good at getting all this information, this background information.
I'm pretty good at it. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
I've even got the intro for that show that I typed out.
What's the most? I'll ask you a question without notice.
Yeah.
The most famous person who ever emailed you.
Email?
Yeah. Or responded to an email to you.
I couldn't think of one.
I got one.
Okay, go.
Shane Warne.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking to him years ago about VoiceBite, and if he wanted to try it, come on board. And I remember him saying, "Oh yeah, we'd love to hear about it." Blah blah. I'm doing this. I'm away at the moment. Still got that email. Yeah. God rest his soul. Shane Warne.
There you go. I can't.
And yeah. Steve Waugh. Steve Waugh's a pretty big name too.
Yeah. I can't think of emails that I've received.
Yeah.
Don't know. Anyway, that's enough rubbish from us.
Oh my God.
Should we do it again next week?
Yeah, why not?
671?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll agree to terms.
I've got nothing better on.
Okay, bye-bye.
This is Two Blokes Talking Tech.